Morning. We are doing the section 2.2 second lecture of chapter 2. This is the multiplication property of equality. Okay. Now, just like we could add or subtract, adding a negative number, to both sides of an equation to move things around, I can do that with multiplication as well. So if two things are equal, as long as I multiply the exact same number to both sides, I do not change the equality of the equation. Okay, so for example, on this first one, I can multiply, sorry, I didn't want that to go away. Go away. There we go. I can multiply both sides by 2. And what that's going to do is I can now cross out the 2's on that side, leaving me with x equals 6 times 2, which is 8. Okay. On number 2, I can multiply both sides by 3. And I'm going to be able to cross them off here. I get 3 times 15 is equal to a, which is, what's 3 times 15? 45. Okay? How are the operations of multiplication and division related? Well, we know that to divide, you flip and multiply. You multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, that's what we do with fractions. So to solve 3x equals 12, you can multiply each side by the reciprocal of 3, which is 1/3. Sorry, that keeps popping up. Just trying to make the highlighting thing go away. Close enough, I guess. Okay. Or it is easier, some books teach it, that there is a division property of equality. So, what I can do to get this 7 off the x is I can divide both sides by 7. Okay, so x equals 49 over 7, which is 7 times 7 over 7, or just plain old ordinary 7. All right, let's look at number 2. Now again, I'm going to divide by 3. Unfortunately, I have this silly fraction, the silly decimal, so I can't see that right away. Okay, so y equals 1.5 over 3. You can put it in your calculator. We can move the decimal, turn it into 15 over 30, which hopefully you see that there are 2 15s in every 30. So it should be 1 over 1/2. All right. Here I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Well, at least that divides nicely. So I have negative 12 over 4 equals x. Sorry. Negative 12 over 4 is negative 3. There we go. All right, using the multiplication property to eliminate a fractional coefficient. So now if you have a fractional coefficient, we're going to multiply by its reciprocal. Okay, so in this first example, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3/2. Because the 3's would cross out and the 2's would cross out, leaving me with x equals 32 times 3 over 2. Well, 32 is 2 times 16. So I have 16 times 3, which is 30 plus 18, or 48. Oops, I don't have the half anymore. So it's just 48. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Now we're going to multiply this by the reciprocal, 4/3. So that leaves me with y equals, well, 18 is 3 times 6. And I still have that 4 on top, but I factored the 18 so I could see the 3's to get rid of. I'm left with 6 times 4, which is 24. Okay, number 2. Multiply it by the reciprocal. 3 over 2. 3's cross out, 2's cross out. Now I have negative 14 times 3 over 2 equals x. Well, 14 is 7 times 2. So I can cross out the 2 in there and be left with a 7. So I have negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. So that's my x. Equations with the coefficient of negative 1. In other words, negative x equals c. So what you have to do is remember that that is a negative 1. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and put that 1 in there. See, they do it a slightly different way. They're going to multiply both sides by negative 1. I divide both sides by negative 1. Either way works. Do whichever works for you. Here, let me try to erase. There we go. Okay, I keep forgetting I've got the undo. Okay, so this is how they did it. They took it and they multiplied both sides by negative 1, turning that negative x positive. Okay. Another way to do it is to think of it as this. So then you divide by negative 1. You still get your different sign, so it's negative answer. So you choose. Okay. You can either multiply by negative 1 or divide by negative 1. The answer is going to end up the same. So if negative y is equal to 5, then for me, I would do this. Y equals negative 5. You can do it by multiplying both sides by negative 1. Works the same. All right. Now, sometimes you have to do all of these things together, both what we've learned today and last class, yesterday. So first we're going to move our constant, and that's going to put plus 5 on both sides, so we end up with 3x equals 21. But to get rid of the 3 on the x, we've got to divide by 3. All right, so that crosses out. That leaves me with x, and then 21 over 3 is 7. So that would be my answer. All right, we have 2 more examples. All right, first, subtract the 5. That leaves me with 2x equals 13 minus 5 is 8. Divide by 2. X equals 8 over 2, which is 4. And we're done. Yay. All right, on the next one, we're going to add the 2. That leaves us with 3x equals 11. Divide by 3. This is going to leave us with x equals 11 thirds. Now, I want these, when they're fractions like that, I want them to stay fractions. Don't give me a decimal answer. Fractions are exact. Decimals are rounded. I want exact answers. Okay, we are done.